Good day, everyone. This is Francesco D'Anconia checking in. Going to give you my thoughts on this couple counsellor video. Going to go ahead and play it for you right now.
This is the biggest reason that women stop having sex with their husbands, and I know what's coming in the comment section and I don't care. Because I have to spit the truth. And yes, I do know what I'm talking about. I know, Stuart, you're going to comment and say, well, maybe it's this, this, and this, and you're going to get kind of mad about what I have to say, but here's the deal. I have a doctorate in social psychology. I've spent my entire adult life studying romantic relationships, the science of romantic relationships, both studying the science as well as publishing in the science. And so I am very well versed in this topic, not to mention that I've seen thousands of clients and heard from thousands of women about why they won't have sex with their husbands. So, Joe, if you know better, for sure put it in the comments, but I think I have some credibility. And if this is a problem in your relationship, you might want to humble yourself and take a seat and hear what I have to say. The primary reason why women stop having sex with their husbands is because they don't feel emotionally safe. And the reason that they don't feel emotionally safe is because their attachment needs are not being met inside of their relationship. Attachment needs are our deepest needs inside of a romantic relationship. And if those things are not fulfilled, we will not feel emotionally safe. And especially for women, when there is a lack of emotional safety, they start feeling very unsafe giving their bodies to their partner, and they start to feel extremely unattracted to their partner. Like they simply can't get physically turned on by their partners anymore. So if you're not familiar with my content, you might be asking, how do I know what their attachment needs are? Well, there's a lot of information about attachment out there. You could dig through my videos and you could probably very easily figure out the attachment style of your partner. Attachment science has been around since 1958. It's been studied empirically in thousands of empirical studies. Go to PubMed. The studies are out there, okay? Or you can work with me and I'm happy to assess the attachment of your partner. And here's what you need to know. The different attachment styles have very, very different needs. So knowing the attachment style of your partner is really the keys to the kingdom in getting all your needs met inside of the relationship as well. So the anxious preoccupied, their biggest need is love, affection, and reassurance. So they need lots of reassurance every single day that you love them, that the relationship is stable, and that you are in fact appreciative of them. And they really have all the love languages. They just want lots of reassurance of your love, okay? The fearful avoidant, I just did a video on this. Their biggest need is to be able to feel seen, heard, and understood in the relationship, aka trust you to show up for them in a way that feels good to them. Okay, so really leaning into seeing, hearing, and understanding them and making a lot of space for their feelings is super important. For the dismissive avoidant woman, it's going to be space, autonomy, and lack of criticism, aka peace and harmony inside the relationship. So a lot of times what I see is that women are expressing my emotional needs are not met, aka their attachment needs, and I physically cannot get turned on by my partner anymore. In fact, they start to get disgusted, like they get the ick so majorly bad. And could you open up your body and allow someone to like penetrate your being if you feel disgusted by them? They feel like they're violating themselves and someone is violating them. And trust me, I do videos on why meeting a man's sexual needs is very important inside of a relationship. So I'm definitely not one-sided on this. I'm just trying to share the woman's side here. And I know I may get roasted in the comments by the men, and I'm expecting it, and I don't care. And none of my self-esteem comes from what, Bob thinks, right? But I know that I'm going to have a lot of women in the comments shouting, thank you. Thank you for saying what's been so hard for me to say or what my husband is not hearing. So there you go. The haters just boost the algorithm, so go ahead.
So fundamentally, I obviously disagree with this wholeheartedly. I think it's first and foremost, she opens with credentialism about her credentials and that she's a couples counsellor and she's seen this many women and so on. I think it needs to be said, couples counselling is not a neutral institution. It's well accepted. It's been well documented in the red pill community for a long time as being a feminized institution. It almost always has the outcome of surprise, surprise. It's the man's fault. The man needs to do more, and all the man's wants are sexist and backward. You want your woman to perform for you sexually, that's sexist. Or make an effort for you sexually, that's sexist. You want your woman to do her share around the house because you make the majority of the money, and that's where she's supposed to make it up. That's sexist. Essentially, it's always your fault, and female accountability is not allowed. It just needs to be said. I mean, couples counselling doesn't work, does it? It's the divorce rate has been forever skyrocketing. The only thing that's brought it down in recent years is because less people are getting married in the first place. Couples counselling doesn't seem to help. You'll note. She said, so many women have come in and said they're not having sex with their husbands, and when she offers the feminine mythology of, oh, is it because you're not emotionally safe? They say, yeah, it's because I'm not emotionally safe. It's notable she didn't turn around and say, so I gave the men advice on making their women feel emotionally safe. They went away and did these things, and now they have a great sex life, because that doesn't happen. It's all bullshit. It's a thing of... for me, it's couples counselling is the final shit test. If a woman says, let's go couples counselling, it's the final shit test. For me, it's the final humiliation ritual where they get a woman on their side who believes in the feminine imperative. So when you get in there, they just get you to confess your sins against womanhood, which is basically original sin. You can never do enough to appease womanhood, and they owe you nothing. They don't need to appease you in any way. It just doesn't matter. So that said, I mean, is there any truth to emotional safety? Well, I mean, the thing for me is this: do women need to feel emotionally safe to have a sexual connection to you, or to feel sexually attracted to you? I mean, the big thing for me is she must have been having sex with you in the first place, right? To get into that relationship. You two must have been vibing. You two must have things in common. You two must vibe with one another. And of course, it needs to be said, women have casual sex all the time. Where's the emotional safety there? Women often find dangerous or edgy men to have a particular dark charm about them. They find dangerous men to be seductive. You know what's anti-seductive? Familiarity and comfort. And I think we're circling the drain on what's really happening here. The answer is because women have locked you down with marriage, because you sign a contract, sign over half of everything you have unconditionally, right? Because even if you get a divorce, you still pay them it via alimony. You signed over the main thing you have to bring unconditionally, right? Not if she gives you X, it's hers already, no matter what happens. So she's got nothing to work for. There's no flaw on it. It doesn't matter if you're happy or not. You've signed it over already up front. You know, so essentially what's going on is you've provided ultimate comfort. You've ceded your position entirely. And that's boring. She finds you too nice. That's what it is. So this idea of you just need to be nicer, there needs to be more comfort and closeness, is wrong. It's the comfort and closeness that has led her to feel she doesn't need to please you anymore. Has led her to feel you're safe, you're a known entity, you're not mysterious, there's not that dark, dangerous element of seduction to you anymore. So as such, this idea of you just need to do more closeness, there needs to be more comfort, you need to debase yourself and simp harder for her. This is actually accelerationism. And this is what I mean when I say this couples counselling is the final shit test. Because if you go away and you say, yes, my love, my darling, my princess, tell me how I can do things to make you feel more emotionally safe. The woman and then the couples counsellor sit there laughing their ass off at you. Ha ha ha, watch it, this idiot, chase his own tail trying to decode this feminine mystique and work out how to make us emotionally safe. Because the next thing you'll find is you're divorced, and what she'll tell her friends is, he was just too nice. He wasn't a challenge for me. Essentially. I don't know. I mean, I think there's also the underlying thing of ultimately, you imagine a relationship where a woman is with a man she finds impressive, right? A man that she that is making enough money to give her a nice lifestyle, has status such that she experiences status vicariously. So her friends will say, "Ah, yeah, you got the prize. You go, girl. This guy, I can see why you like this guy." You imagine he's good looking and in shape, right? And of course, there's an element of compatibility too. Right? If he just treats her like a pig straight up, he just walks in and expects her to suck his dick, put food on the table, and he doesn't even talk to her. Yes, of course, there's an element of compatibility. But it's like 90-10. 90% is she finds him impressive and she knows she's got the prize. 10% is he doesn't treat her like a complete pig. Tell me, in that situation, do you think women are going to be hauling him into couples counselling, talking about emotional closeness, emotional safety, attachment theory, whatever the fuck? No, she's going to be content in what she's got, and she's going to be making sure that he's sexually pleased, or another woman will. And she is okay with that. I revert back to what I said. This is a situation where you've got the guy doing the 10% of emotional closeness, but it's without the 90% of her finding him, the 90% of what's important, which is her finding him impressive. And as such, if you're making the efforts to be emotionally close to her without being impressive, that's just simping, bro. And that's when she starts feeling disappointed. That's when she starts feeling she hasn't got the prize. She feels you're too nice. So this is accelerationism. It's saying, actually, you're not nice enough. Go ahead and debase yourself further so I can get the final ick that justifies to myself it's time to get rid of you.